right, Andrew, as relief talks continue on Capitol Hill, leaders are eyeing a new round of stimulus checks as part of a $900 billion deal. Joining us right now with more on the latest is Senator Rob Portman and Senator Joe Manchin. They've been helping spearhead bipartisan efforts to try and get a relief package passed. Of course, Senator Manchin's a Democrat. Senator Portman is a Republican. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you. I think Americans are wondering if this deal will actually get done before the deadline of tomorrow night. I know that Senator McConnell has said you all are sticking in town until this is done. So, Senator Portman, I'll just ask you, do you have plans right now to stay in Washington for the weekend? You think it'll take through the weekend to get it finished?
Becky, I'm always skeptical at year end here because it tends to get pushed back a little bit, but I think we'll finish up on Saturday. It means we'll probably do something short term on Friday night to deal with the continuing resolution for government shutdown, but I think we'll get it done this weekend. And we should. You know, it's been 9 months since we passed the CARES package. People are hurting. Unfortunately, the coronavirus healthcare crisis has gotten worse, not better recently. And the economy is not as strong as it should be. So we need a bridge between now and when we have the vaccines available. And that's what this is. It's an emergency package to get us through the next few months to the March-April timeframe when we'll actually, hopefully, have the vaccines be widely dispersed and begin to turn the corner on this crisis.
Senator Manchin, you and others have said that this needs to be targeted and go to the Americans who are most in need. I guess that means the people who are unemployed at the moment, who don't have those unemployment benefits that have been extended. We've seen both Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Hawley pushing for direct-to-consumer, direct-to-everybody checks, and that sounds like that is the latest iteration of this. Are you okay with that?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. Here's the thing. This is the product that we produce. Myself, Rob Portman, and we had about 10 other senators, evenly split between Democrats and Republicans. This is what we produced. Legislative language, this is the template that's being used. We were able to negotiate the deal that we thought we could all live with, and the price of what that would be is $908 billion. We couldn't get over with the state and local aid and also with liability. That was $160 billion. So what they've done, using this template here, has been working off of it. It's all in legislative language. And basically, they took the 160 and they're saying, okay, since we can't come to an agreement, and liability and state and local have to move the same because each side had their respective positions on that. Then they said, okay, well, let's do direct payments. And it's going to be a bit smaller. But when you said, are we okay? Absolutely. We always wanted to do direct payments. We thought it stimulates the market, if you will. But the bottom line was we couldn't get over the $900 billion. And I want people to know this is an emergency relief package. This is not a do-all, end-all. And Joe Biden, our president-elect, coming in as president in January, will evaluate the situation and offer another package if needed, and we will consider it and work towards making sure our economy continues to come back strong. But we have to get through this time period, the first quarter especially. This is a time package basically till April the 1st. That's what we were working under. And I told all those people it's not enough in so many areas, and it's too much in other areas where both sides are taking their respective positions. We've got a good, balanced package in the bipartisan way.
But Senator Manchin, let me just clarify. The reporting that we had heard earlier was that these direct-to-everyone checks would be coming at the expense of extended unemployment benefits. It sounds like you're saying they're coming instead of the state and local payments. What's the case?
Yeah. Yes. I myself personally, and Rob, I want to butt in here, I don't think any of us ever would have voted or supported something where you were sending a check to people that still had a check, but we were trying to stimulate the market when we were letting people have their unemployment checks run out and had nothing. That was never on the table for us, but that was the discussion. I think we're directly in that payment, basically the money that we set aside for direct payments or basically state and local aid. Rob, you might want to jump in there on that.
No, I think Joe's right, Becky, and you're not going to find a lot of daylight between Joe and me, as you can tell. But with regard to unemployment, there are three things that we do in our bill, the bipartisan bill, that is also in the package, at least as we understand it, and that is we extend the time period. Otherwise, as of the day after Christmas, a bunch of people lose their unemployment. These are people who are self-employed, as an example, gig economy workers, but also people who are taking advantage of the 13-week federal government extension of the state program. And look, we need it in a lot of states. I mean, some states are doing better than others. Some sectors of the economy are doing better than others. But as you know, as you begin to shut down an economy, a bunch of people lose their jobs through no fault of their own. Sometimes those shutdowns are because of a government edict in some of our states. Sometimes it's just because the coronavirus numbers are so high that people aren't going out to restaurants or to a bowling alley or a movie theater. So that's what our bill does, is to be sure that that's there. And then second, it provides an additional federal supplement, as we had until August, which is the $300. But it does it for a short period of time. Again, just until we get through this period. This is a bridge to the time when we're going to have vaccines readily available and we can begin to turn the corner on this crisis.
Hey, Senator Manchin, I was looking forward to having you on today. I want to harken back to a different subject just real quickly, because we're watching Georgia. We don't know if it's going to be Majority Leader Schumer or Majority Leader McConnell. But you made some comments that even if it was Majority Leader Schumer, that certain things were off the table. And I'm not sure exactly which ones you were talking about for you. I know you're not a fan of expanding of packing the court. I don't know about ending the filibuster. I don't know about adding District of Columbia or additional states. If you were whipped hard by a senator, a leader, Schumer, do you insist? I mean, I saw AOC gave you a look that I wouldn't want to get a look from anyone. Do you insist that you're never going to waffle on some of these issues that you took a stand on?
Well, first of all, I usually say what I mean, and I mean what I say. And I think people who know me for any period of time, I've taken a licking and kept on ticking many times when I was the only person who voted for Brett Kavanaugh. I didn't see the evidence of what he was accused of, but I know that something on the lady, I was concerned about her also, but I didn't see the evidence. So I voted what I thought was the right thing to do. I'm the only Democrat in so many times that has voted with my Republican colleagues. If it makes sense to me and it makes sense that I can go home and explain it, I'll vote for it. And I've always said that. So, yes, here's where I am. And I've been very clear. I thought what happened in 2013 when Harry Reid basically declared the nuclear option was wrong. And then 2017 was even more wrong when Mitch McConnell basically did the same thing for the Supreme Court votes. So now we're under simple majority. If you change the filibuster, it will be no more than a glorified House. And that's not the Senate's role. That's not who we are. As you can see, Rob and I, we're all good friends. We can work this out if people just sit down and talk. That's how we came to the conclusion of the bill that we put together. It took us a month, but our leadership was at a stalemate. They couldn't move forward. They've asked me about stacking the court. Absolutely not. Where do you stop? Do you stop at 13, 15, 17? I mean, it makes no sense at all. And I believe in the rule of law, and I believe the people that we put a robe on truly are there. Basically, you might have philosophical differences, but I think they'll look at the law and interpret it in a way that protects all Americans. I'm fine with that. So on the other thing, you said, stacking the court, and you've got basically moving on the AOC look. That was a stare. I didn't know that stare was going on when it was. I was just basically being, as a West Virginian, you're kind of socially considerate, and I stood up and clapped, and I thought things were really good. No matter who the president is, I'm going to show the respect. That's what I think we've lost in this place, civility and the respect for each other. So I'm not going to cave. I never have caved. Chuck Schumer is exactly where I am.
And if they were to say that it's not a lifetime appointment? No, not the alternating in 10, 15 years for not a lifetime appointment. I mean, President-elect Biden has come up. He's going to have some kind of commission to look at all kinds of different changes to the Supreme Court. You wouldn't be in favor of any of that?
I know. I'll look at anything. I really will. I'll look at anything and everything that I think would be a help as far as in the way we deliver justice, the way you're able to have court proceedings, and the way you're able to have court appearances, all these things. But changing the number of court members from 9 to where you think it might be advantageous because you can put more Democrats and more Republicans. Madam Justice is blind. She has a blindfold on. Why can't we basically accept what we have? The rule of law is unbelievable. It's different than any other country, and move on. But people want to start stacking the deck, and I'm not in for stacking the deck. I'm in for making this place work. Rob Portman is my friend. He wants this place to work. We're sick and tired of no procedure, no process whatsoever. We don't debate in the committees anymore. We don't debate on the floor. We don't have amendments. That has got to stop. I'm committed to stopping that and starting working in a procedure that everyone can be proud of.
Senator Portman, to that point, I mean, it's been over a decade that it seems like, you know, the more extreme factions of both parties have had a little more control. It used to be a much more congenial place. Do you think that the moderates, like yourselves, like the Problem Solvers Caucus in the House, are going to have more sway in the next Congress?
Yes, because I think we're going to have a tighter majority. It's either going to be a very slight Democrat majority with 50-50 and a tiebreaker by the vice president, or the Republicans are going to have 51 or 52, which is also, you know, very slim majority. And look at the House, same thing. Speaker Pelosi seems to be losing a seat every day these days, so she's down to, I don't know, 6 or 8 seats majority. So it's very narrow, and this means that we've got to figure out a way to work together. We can't allow the country to screech to a halt. We've got to be able to work, as we did on this package, as Republicans and Democrats, focused on what's best for the country. I don't know that it's so much that we're moderates. It's more that we are just practical and trying to get things done. And there's a lot that we need to get done. I look at our infrastructure needs. I look at what's going on with regard to health care costs. I think those are opportunities for us. I look about retirement security. We've got to be able to do that. That's bipartisan that we could get through. So we got to figure out a way to work together to solve the real problems we face as a country. And look, we need to stop the polarization. Our country is split. It's not just the Congress. You know, we've seen that throughout Ohio and throughout the country, that there's more division than ever. It's time to figure out how to focus on coming together to solve important problems. And I think that's what this little process that Joe is such a big part of, and 9 other colleagues of ours, you know, we figured that you needed to have a COVID-19 package. Nothing was going on, and we needed to, frankly, move leadership off the dime. And I think that was very helpful to have this process. And at the end of the day, we'll get something done here, and that's good for the American people.
If I could just comment on that. If I could just comment on that issue real quick, and I'll tell you, I am so optimistic. I think these tight numbers in both the Senate and the House, as far as who's in control, 4 or 5 votes in the House, 1 or 2 votes in the Senate. We have a golden opportunity to come together now because every vote counts. So a person can't just say, well, there was an overwhelming majority and it was there. I went ahead and just went with the group. I went ahead and just voted with the caucus. That's not to be said now because your vote does count. You can make a difference. 4 or 5 votes in the House, the problem solvers are going to have an awful lot of input, I believe, and they've been great to work with, Josh and Tom and all them. But I can tell you on our side, whether it's 52-48 or 50-50, each one of our voices and each one of our votes is going to make a big difference and basically bring people together. That's our intent. That's my intent. I know that's been Rob's intent. We came together and produced a product when they were a stalemate, and we didn't think it could be done, wrote the language to it, which is now why we're able to get through this as quick as we are. And we're going to continue to work. This group's not breaking up at all.
Well, kudos, gentlemen. Thank you for your practicality, and thank you for trying to get things done. Senators Portman, Senator Manchin, want to thank you both for your time. Good luck.
Thanks,
and,
Becky.
Hope something wraps up. Okay.
Have a great holiday, you guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
See you, Joe.
Merry
Andrew.
Christmas.
You too.
Okay,
Happy holidays.
Thanks,
Yes,
Joe.
sir.